Ready? Chief, thanks so much for sitting down with us.
No problem.
Big allegations, or rather concerns, that Mike Tomaszewski has coming forward from the Firefighters Association, the local union, or the local chapter here. Overall, just to begin with, when you hear that there is low morale, or being said there's low morale with your firefighters, as the chief, how does that make you feel? What is what's your immediate reaction to that?
When you hear that, it is a concern that you would hear that from any employees that work with you, and then you look over the years at what things that as a department you have accomplished as a department, what things that you have done to make the job better and safer for firefighters, as well as make things better for the community. And you wonder, why are they saying this? We are a Class 1 fire department. You can't get a higher rating. When I first became the chief, we were a Class 5. We have moved to Class 1, and so that goes to show of the advancements and the things that we have done to move forward to make our department not only better for the citizens, but for the employees as well. And so we have done several things. We started out the gate. Everyone that had been promoted by the previous administration got a 5% raise, because I knew that as we move forward, I was going to give employees 10% raises, and I didn't want the old employees to get leaped over by new people that were getting promoted. We did that off the bat. We have equalized the salaries. So the City of Augusta, as far as the fire department is concerned, has always had issues with pay since consolidation. You had two different departments, a Richmond County department, a City of Augusta department, and the pay was not the same. We equalized that. We developed a new pay structure, and a problem that had been plaguing our department since 1995 all the way to 2014 or so. We addressed that issue, and that is no longer an issue. Safety, we have done things that other departments haven't figured out how to do yet, or hasn't had the resources to do. So safety-wise, during the past several years, each firefighter now has 2 sets of protective clothing. That's to help firefighters prevent them from getting cancer. The carcinogens get into their uniform, their turnout gear gets wet. When they get back to the station, they can take that old gear off, put it in a washer that's specifically built for that. We can put on a fresh pair of gear and be ready to go to the next call while the other set is getting clean. We implemented safety officers. Before, there was not a designated safety officer. We did that so that we would have somebody on each fire scene looking out for the safety of the firefighters. Prior to this, and all of this are things that you can go look at, stories that were done in the news, and we issue radios to each firefighter. In the old days, one firefighter. Prior to my administration, one of the firefighters would have a radio, the portable radio. Now, all firefighters have the portable radio. That's for safety. That's so they can communicate if they're in trouble. So we have done a number of things that have been for the safety of the employee. We have raised salaries. We've done a lot of things to assure that the employee was taken care of, because they are our #1 resource to provide that professional and efficient service to the citizens. One of the most important things we've done is implemented annual physicals. In the old days, you might get a physical and they'll stop and you don't do it anymore, and then they'll do one. We've implemented it, and so since 2013, every year, a firefighter on their birthday month gets a physical. And we have actually saved firefighters' lives with those physicals. Things have been found that they were able to address before they became problems, and it assists us in knowing that we are putting folks out there to do the job that are physically capable of doing the job, that they're not dealing with heart disease or diabetes or something that would prevent them and cause them to get be injured while they're doing their job. So safety-wise, I will put our record against any administration that has been in Augusta Fire Department or any other department around as far as what we have done for our employees to make sure that they are safe. So it's disturbing to hear, but I'm confident and feel well about the things I know we have done to assure that the firefighters are safe.
So one of the things that Mike had talked about was staffing. I know you touched on, that for a smidgen about increasing pay and for safety. He said over the last year and a half, about 130 people have left staffing. And do you know why? What is the reasoning, or why are they leaving? Why is there a shortage in staff? Is there a shortage in staff? Is there concern about shortage in staff?
There is a concern about staffing, but that concern is not just a concern of the Augusta Fire Department. That's a concern of the industry in itself. No different than there's a shortage in law enforcement, no difference than there's a shortage in nursing, no difference than there's a shortage in teachers. The firefighters are listed in that same category. And our voluntary resignation rate is about 1/3 of what the national average is. Now, in that, you've had employees that have left because they were not able to complete the training. The training is passing fire school is not easy. Passing EMT school is not easy. And so some of the numbers that you will see left because they were not able to complete that training. The other side of that makes things a little difficult is once you have trained an employee at this level, they're firefighter certified, they are EMS certified, they do become attractive to other employers. So the city of Augusta does not pay. I can tell you that we have probably lost 5 or so employees to SRS. The city of Augusta does not pay SRS salary. And so I know recently we've lost about 5 that SRS has a fire department. They don't run recruit training, so firefighters get trained here. We use them, and then different companies look for that. The expertise, the certifications that these people have, they don't have to train them, and they offer them money, and we lose them. And so it's not just to SRS. We've lost employees to some of the chemical manufacturers that we have here in Augusta. I recently I did an exit interview with a firefighter that she went to Plant Vogel. Barclay, I'm sorry, the city of Augusta does not pay Plant Vogel's salary. And so when I talked to this employee and she said, the money, Chief. She said, it's the money. So is it a concern? It is. And that's why you have seen, and the public has seen, we have tried to increase our recruitment. We have, this past year, we just came out with the deal that we have with the Richmond County Schools. This is an effort that we recognize that we need people, and we're trying to figure out what's the best group of citizens that we can get that may stay. And we said, let's try the high school students. Some of them don't want to leave home. Some of them, and so we went into this agreement with the Richmond County Board of Education. So we do recognize that there is a need, just like law enforcement recognize that they have a need, just like the nurses recognize that they have a need. We're in that same category, and these are highly trained people after they've run through your training, and they become attractive to private industry that will have the ability to offer them more money, and that's the whole routine. We 30 years ago, we may run a recruit class, and it'll be another year or two, and then you'll run another recruit class. in today's fire service, not just the Augusta Fire Department, but other departments that are our size as well, continuously running recruit, continuously running. In the metro area in Atlanta, they have the issue of employees leaving from one department going to the next based on who's paying the highest salary. And so is it a concern? Yes. Are we addressing it? Yes, we have been, and we'll continue to address that issue.
One of the things Mike asked about exit interviews, I heard you just mention that one Plant Vogel, well, now Plant Vogel employee, you had one. He said that he's frustrated on behalf of the firefighters that there are not exit interviews, and if there are, maybe in his opinion, the real issue would come out as to why they are leaving. Do you conduct exit interviews? Where are those, or who gets the documentation after that to assess why they are leaving?
And in the City of Augusta's policy and procedure manual, the exit interviews are responsibility of the Human Resources Department. And it is responsibility, based on this manual, it's the responsibility of the employee and or that employee's direct supervisor to set that interview up. But that goes through the employee themselves, set that interview up. It's outlined in our policy to operate that way. And they want it done at HR so that employees can talk freely to the HR department about what issues are going on and what they can say. So that is the responsibility of the HR department. We, when it is permitted and time permits, I will schedule an appointment with an employee. They say, well, this guy is leaving. If we are given enough notice, or in the schedule matches up. I mean, I've been working Corona, I've been working, if the schedule matches up, I can set up an interview, and I like to actually talk to him myself. I just talked to another individual that recently he found a job that paid more. He works at RecTech. I set an appointment, I pulled him in, and I talked to him and said, hey, what is going on? So when it fits the schedule, we do that, but it is the responsibility of the HR department outlined in our manual that that actually exit interviews are to be conducted by the HR department.
Mike talked about Doug Smitherman, the husband of Jody Smitherman, who at the time was full-time legal counsel for Augusta Fire Department. Right? The policy states that in the Ethics and Public Procurement Policy, or Article 3, that there is to be no employee or public official having conflict of interest. Would you think, Doug gave bids to the fire department, and what is your take on that? I mean, he's a direct husband to Jody Smitherman. Would that not be in violation of Article 3 of Ethics and Public Procurement? And
what I can tell you right off the bat is the Augusta Fire Department has not, that Doug Smitherman and contractors that are associated to do that work that he works with has not done any jobs for Augusta Fire Department. Okay, I have one of the open request documents that Mike did give me. It actually has, it says BC Painting, payee, BC Painting. It has the check date of January 10th, 2019. And that came from one of the requests that he had. There's another. So based on this that you have given me here, Barclay, from my understanding, through we went through this investigation in last year with Miss Janet Allen Jackson was our administrator. From my understanding, Doug Smitherman is the account manager at PP&G, not for the Augusta Fire Department, for the City of Augusta. And as I look at this document that you handed me, it says facility maintenance, and it gives an org key. That is not the fire department. So this would be whatever work that BC Painting did. The fire department, this is not a fire department account. And so this, I can't this document here is not BC Painting doing any work for the Augusta Fire Department.
Okay. These are purchase orders that
Mhm.
specifically say ship to Augusta Fire Department,
Mhm.
vendor PPG with date, with Doug's email address on there, and the procurement director did sign off on that.
Mhm.
And I may be looking at it wrong, so forgive me if that is the case.
No, this is, actually what this is this is not two purchase order, it's one, it's the same. The total here is the total of both of these pages.
Okay.
PP&G, which was Glid and Paint, and then it moved to PP&G.
Okay.
The city of Augusta has had and has done business with them for years. And so your records would indicate, even in the information that you saw that Mr. Tomaszewski has given you, the Augusta Fire Department, along with engineering, along with utilities, along with facilities maintenance, have all over the years purchased from that particular vendor. There's only so many paint vendors in Augusta. Lowe's doesn't take purchase orders from the city of Augusta. Home Depot doesn't take purchase order for the city of Augusta. You have Sherman-Williams, you have PP&G that used to be Gliding, and this here is a paint job that was, this is Station 4 was going to needed paint. So they went to PP&G, purchased the paint from, they walked in the store, purchased the paint from whoever was there, and they took it to Station 4 for painting. So this was not a contractor job, this was walking in.
Okay. This is the stucco estimate, and here, if you don't mind, I'm sorry. That's the stucco estimate, and then the Scoggins painting.
Mm-hmm.
And those are in conjunction with email exchanges between Captain Brown
Mhm.
and Doug Smitherman. And in one of the emails, he says, "I'm Jody's husband," and he thanks him for the opportunity to work on projects.
Mhm.
And so my question is, how do we even get to that point where that was okay to have that conversation? Where did Captain Brown miss this policy, or did he? I don't know.
So, not just our department, but any department, not just our business, but vendors on a regular basis are always reaching out, trying to get business. So this would be Doug Smitherman trying to get business. There was not a stucco job done at Station 11. No stucco work has been done. This is it appears that these guys gave an estimate, or this guy gave a quote, but jobs of this size and or this nature have to go through the procurement department. These jobs of over, this quote says $20,000. According to the procurement policy of Augusta, as a department, I can't even put that bid out. You would have to put specs together, a specification. The specification would have to go through the procurement department, and then the procurement department would send it out to vendors. And so this is maybe they were preparing to put specifications together to send to procurement, or they were, but as they were trying to repair the stucco, or look how we were going to repair the stucco, as it's their job to keep our buildings up and running, they had people look at it. There has not been a stucco job done. There has not been a stucco job that went through a bid process through procurement, and there has not been a check cut from the city of Augusta through the Augusta Fire Department to any of these companies that you are presenting to me.
And
So-
Barclay, just real quick, I want to clarify. He said they are responsible for maintaining the fire stations. What he's referring to is the logistics department within the department, not that specific vendor or anything.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that that's clear.
No, I appreciate that.
Right.
So just the process of these conversations between Captain Brown and Doug Smitherman are not in violation of this policy. Is that what I'm hearing?
That we have no control over what emails that Doug Smitherman are sending in his attempt to try to get work.
Okay.
I know that
Because Doug asked in one of those emails, he went on and asked about another, like, needing a bunch of paint as well in one of those emails, and it may be one of those situations that you just said where they walked in the store and got the paint there. So I'm not saying that a bid was put out or that was what that was.
Right.
I'm just asking about that.
But no contractor working with Doug Smitherman has done a job for the Augusta Fire Department since he has worked at PP&G.
Why do you think Mike is making that allegation? Why do you think that he has requested these open records of 2 years back and some 700 pages of documentation? In your opinion, that's a lot of work. I mean, that's not an opinion, that's fact, that's a lot of work. Why do you think he's doing it? He says he doesn't want to be chief. He says he's going on to a new job. So, you know, he said some people have questioned that I want the chief out because I want his position.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, this is something that he's doing. He has filed complaints and other things in the past. And why he's doing that is something that we're not completely sure. I know that we're not operating. We operate in accordance with the policies. I know that we can't control vendors. But as long as we have operated within the policy, I have not seen where any vendor that was not supposed to get a job got a job. And a stucco job at Station 11 would not be something that a department could bid out itself. And no bid has went out. And I can tell you that no stucco job has been done. I know that for a fact. And in fact, one of our departmental special purpose local option sale tax requests for SPLOS 8 is to remodel several stations to include that station. But no work has been done. No money or advantage has been given to PP&G or any other company. And so that work has not been done.
One of the last claims that he had, I sent it over, is discrepancies in disciplinary action, and specifically this TikTok video that's going around of these female firefighters, alleged female firefighters in uniform and clearly near a fire truck. Wondering, have you seen the video? What's your take on the video? Mike says, you know, other people have done something similar, not to that extent, and they got disciplined, and these have not.
I've only seen it as I have seen the information that he released. But prior to that, I've seen some still photos, and that issue right now is still, that's a recent issue. And so we have not had the time to go through each interview. One of the employees that needs to be talked to is on vacation, but we have not had time to go through that process, and that particular issue is still under review at this moment. And so to compare that to older issues, it's still under review at this moment.
They're having a press conference tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on that? Is it something, are you concerned about some of what they're saying they're going to come forward with or say publicly? What's your take on that?
I don't really have a statement about it. I don't really have a statement about it.
To hear that somebody doesn't want you in your position anymore and that they don't want to be, that these firefighters, a lot of them saying that they don't want to be under your leadership and they want, and he's flat out said he wants you gone.
Mm-hmm.
He wants you to retire and he doesn't want you here. What's your response to that?
Unfortunately, the chief prior to me went through the same type of issue. You don't have a response to that. You focus on trying to do your job the best you can do your job every day. This is an organization that is, over 300 or so people, and there's always, there's always a group, that, there's issues with. I'm not the first fire chief in the city of Augusta that has had to deal with that. I can tell you, based on our record, what we have done. We have increased salaries. We have bought changed the uniforms. From when I came on, you were wearing polyester and poly cotton shirts, and for firefighter safety purposes, we've moved to 100% Nomex, which is safer for them to wear. We've done all of these things for the safety of the firefighter, so that they're safe, that they can perform their job, and so that they can better provide that professional and efficient service for the citizen. So we have increased salaries. I've probably promoted more people than any other chief has ever promoted anyone. I've probably bought more new fire apparatus. We got 3 more coming in than any other administration has done. I think of the previous chiefs and how they may have felt about it. Some people have said, those leadership positions, these are the type of things that come with them, and you can't speak to, it would be wrong to try to speak for what's in somebody else's heart or in their head, but my job is to keep doing my job, and that's what I try to focus on. Is we've moved this fire department, like I said, from a Class 5 fire department to a Class 1 fire department. We have added services. We have staffed our apparatus so that, I would challenge you to find other departments in our area that ride with, 3 or 4 people on each apparatus every day, that give all of their employees physicals, that, I will put this department up against any as far as how we provide the service and the things that we do. And I think in doing what we do, it is what raised us to be a Class 1 fire department. And we do a lot of good. We do a lot of good in the community. To ask me what their motives may be, I don't know that I could, feel comfortable in giving an assessment of what they're thinking. But all of the questions that you have presented, is it necessary that we staff those units? It's necessary for the safety of a firefighter. And just like I mentioned to you, all of the other safety issues, I don't want to put 2 firefighters on a fire truck and send them to accomplish a mission that takes 3 or 4 people to do. That's unsafe for the firefighter. And it ends up with the public not getting an efficient and effective job that they need. So if that calls us, unfortunately, in the perfect world, we would pay no overtime. But there are other public safety departments within the city of Augusta that have overtime. We have surveyed, the city of Atlanta has